Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending December 7th, 2022. You know how some houses sell right away and on the same street others will sit? Well, I mean, we see it all the time. And the comments that we hear, which are very, very true, the home that's fully modernized, renovated. I'm not talking about new build, new constructions. I'm talking about older homes that have been updated. They're move-in ready. Everything's been modernized and updated in this home. They sell right away. And then there's a home on the street that needs renovations and it's sitting. And a lot of people go to the conclusion that, well, it's because people want the move-in ready. Part of that is true, but more true is usually that home that's sitting there that needs renovation, the sellers or their listing agent are not clued into price. We recently saw this with one of our buyer clients where we're looking at a home that needs to be fully updated. And very recently on the street, a home sold for $2 million, just a few doors down, that was fully modernized, renovated, updated, sold for $2 million. But the house we're looking at, and this is a 3,000 square foot home, the house we're looking at is listed at 1.8, and the sellers seem to be pretty firm on that price. There is no way that the $1.8 million homes, if you were to fully modernize and renovate it, would only cost $200,000. But this is where sellers' minds are at, or their agents. It's, well, you know, when it comes to prices of homes, the seller, there's many still thinking back at the beginning of the year, my house should be here, that's the one sold. Well, the new house price is here. That's the new reality. A lot of sellers or their agents have not come to terms with the new reality of renovation costs. The way I would be looking at it, so if that sold for $2 million, fully done, yours needs to be fully renovated. What's it going to cost to get us back to the $2 million mark? Renovating a 3,000 square foot home, you're looking at $400,000, $500,000. It's not a $200,000 type of deal anymore. Those are the olden days. It costs big money. Prices have gone up in materials, labor, right across the board. And a lot of sellers are not understanding that. They just back out $150,000, $200,000 for what the modern home sold for and think, yeah, it's a good price. That's why they sit. Their price is not adjusted correctly to what it would actually cost to update that home. Somebody needs to understand the new pricing, and then you'll see all these homes selling in the time frame that makes more sense. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, we've made it really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers here. I'm going to start off with Vaughan. I'm going to cover detached properties for Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, and then I'm going to cover condos for York Region. So here's Vaughan detached properties broken down by week for a whole year, week ending December 7th. 18 detached properties were sold across Vaughan. 7 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price week over week came down quite a bit. It's now sitting at $1,678,000. Now, if we look at, say, the last, since mid-September, and I know there's peaks and valleys along the way, but it kind of looks like average sold price since September, mid-September has been going up. But we'll look at that a little bit closer now. Compared to last year, 1,678,000 versus where the average price was a year ago for the same week ending. 6% lower this year versus last year's average sold price. So average sold price is 6% lower. Median price is 12% lower versus the median price last year. Median price for this year is sitting at 1,525,000. Now I had said that it looks like average prices were kind of going up over the last, say, since mid-September, the last little while. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average, which it helps to eliminate some of the peaks and valleys, and it's easier to spot a trend. And it's pretty clear. Going back 2.5 months or so since September, dotted line for the average sold price and for the median price has been going up over the span since the span of 2.5 months or so, 3 months. Year-to-date sales, huge difference. We've got 42% fewer sales this year versus what was sold last year in Vaughan for detached properties. Of the 18, only 22 sold at list price or more. This time a year ago, you could see the difference. It was 70% selling at list price or more. We have 14% fewer listings this year versus last year. And I would even say the number is actually much higher than 14% fewer listings, because there's a lot more listings this year that aren't selling. So they get canceled, relisted at a different price, canceled, relisted. So that kind of brings up the volume of listings, but it's not so accurate when we look at it that way. But those are the numbers we have to deal with right now. 3.1 is the months of inventory for Vaughan for detached properties, and it has been going up over the last 3 weeks. Here's Richmond Hill. 15 detached properties were sold. 6 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price up week over week. It's now sitting at $1,869,000. $1,869,000 is 2% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price is 1% higher than last year's median price. Median price is sitting at $1,700,000. And when we look at the 4-week moving average, it's which way is it going? It's kind of tough to see. Could be creeping up slightly. The median price looks like it's been coming down a little bit. We have 46% fewer sales of detached properties in Richmond Hill this year versus last year. Of the 15 that sold, 40% sold at list price or more. This time last year, 56% sold at list price or more. It's not so far off for this week. We have 26% fewer listings this year versus last year, and months of inventory came down, sitting at 2.3 months of inventory. Here is Markham. Now Markham, over the course of the summer, was in a slump. Compared to Vaughan and Richmond Hill, Markham was like the one performing the worst. These days, Markham seems to be on fire almost. 20 detached properties were sold. 6 of those sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price, because of that combination, only 26 at $2 million. Average sold price is over $2 million bucks now. It's $2,006,000, which is 8% higher than last year's average sold price. That word higher is not something that's part of the current vocabulary normally when we talk about prices, but this week it is. Markham average sold price is 8% higher than last year's. The median price for Markham is 1% lower than what it was last year at this time. The median price for Markham is sitting at 1.7. When we look at the 4-week moving average, the average price actually looks like to be pretty constant. The median price, though, looks like it's been going up over the last 3 months. Markham is experiencing some of the year-over-year difference in sales, one of the highest. It's at 49% fewer sales this year versus last year. listings is 28% fewer listings. Months of inventory, here's where, I was talking about the summertime. Markham was in a bit of a slump. Months of inventory has come way down, and Markham is experiencing some real estate activity there that nobody really expected. It's now sitting at 1.9 months of inventory. Excuse me. Here are condos for all of York Region. 28 condos were sold. 2 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price for a few weeks now has been inching up a little bit, sitting at $695,000. $695,000. Last year it was $698,000. Because of the percentages, I round them off here just for easy reading. We're showing a 0% difference in prices year over year. These are average sold prices. In fact, the actual difference is this year's average sold price is 0.4% lower than last year's average sold price, and the median price is 10.4% lower than last year's median price. Median price is sitting at $637,000. We have 36% fewer condo sales across York Region this year versus last year. Of the 28 that sold, only 14% sold at list price or more. This time last year, 70% were selling at list price or more. We have 4% more condo listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory for condos for a few weeks has been coming down a bit. It's now sitting at 3.4 months of inventory. Average days on market for condos sitting at 34. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. Pricing is so important. Knowing the trends is so important in setting prices. It's not just if you're looking to sell, if you're looking to buy. What makes sense in an offer if you're looking to buy? All these things are important. Who you hire matters. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.